What's up? What's up? What's up?
What is up?
How's it going, man?
What's happening?
Oh, nothing much, man. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Let's see. Who do we got here? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I'm sitting here listening to the intro, man, and we got to do it ourselves, me and you.
Yeah, I agree. We should do.
Totally, man. I'm sure you got some riff laying around that you've been messing with for 20 years, and I can throw the drums down, man. No, I can't hear you.
What about now? Can you hear me?
You're quiet, but I hear you.
Okay. Hello. Hello. Check. All right. I'm gonna mute it real quick. Hey, okay. I'm gonna have to leave and then come right back. Something happened.
Okay.
Sorry, folks. Sorry. All right. Let's try that. Is that better? Is that better?
It's all right.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna leave.
I'm going to do something interesting while we're filming tonight. I'm going to rip a box of Elvis Lives cards and see if I can come up with something cool. Here, let me. Elvis Lives.
All right. Does that make it work, or is it still kind of quiet?
It's kind of quiet, but I hear you fine.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. Hold up. Let me back out of here and I'll be right back.
Okay. Pack number 1. These packs can actually have an Elvis autograph or a relic card in them, and I'm super stoked and excited.
All right, is that better?
That's about the way. Yeah, it's
really?
Fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna move my fan a little because I think that may be hindering it too. Hold on. All right, check that out. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I must have unplugged something in the middle. All right. Now I'm back to being able to say hey to everybody. Sorry about that. Let's see. We got Zach. Who's this Mort guy? Yeah. Well, he's not in just yet. He had a meeting, but he'll be coming in a few minutes. So he said he should be just a few minutes after 8:30. So I'm seeing if he hasn't said anything on Instagram yet, but he should be on in a little bit. Retro Rob, what's up, man? Nice meeting you. Last weekend? Yeah, I guess it would be like 9 days ago. I met him in South Carolina.
Z Squared says Steve, when's the first video coming up?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When is it? Erica?
Not quite.
Erica's did we give this to your daughter? I can't remember. We had have you heard the anime was it Spirited Away? Have you seen that? We had a no face backpack.
Yeah.
So we gave her one of those, and I think we gave it to her daughter. I can't remember if we gave it to her daughter or her son. But what's this?
Iconic Elvis, man.
Nice.
I'm sitting here ripping Elvis Lives packs of cards while we're talking.
Nice. I don't know.
So if I freak out, I got an Elvis autograph.
Here he is. Well, he's in the backstage, so we're going to bring him in just a minute. So he's here. Landon, I'm going to say hey to everybody. Landon, what's up, man? How's it going? Good. I just saw him last week. Well, this weekend. 89 Sigma is going to I think Classic Game Fest next week. What all are you buying there, by the way, man? Grease Monkey.
What's up, Monkey?
Grease Monkey's been doing some getting into reselling. He's doing pretty good. So let's see. More. I mean, not more. I said Mort. Bowman's in the house. Big Money Bowman.
Yeah. What's up, Bowman?
So that's not Mort. Okay, good. It said Mike is fine. RJC Media said, have you played Lunar on Saturn? I haven't. I know it's on the Sega CD. I don't think it was on the Saturn. I know it's on Sega CD. Yeah, Lunar's a good game though. I haven't played it on the Sega CD. Played it on the PS1, but there's two different ones. Which one is it? Was it Eternal Blue? I can't remember. It's been a while. I should know this. Jen, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Okay, I thought it was your daughter. I couldn't remember exactly. I know our boys were playing Fortnite or something today. Rest in peace. I thought it was a Saturn game. I'm not a Sega. Well, you should be a Sega guy. It's okay though. I forgive you.
You're not biased or anything, are you?
To me, no, not at all. Will, what's up, man? How's it going?
Big Will.
How's it going? Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for coming in. By the way, I got to see Michael this weekend, and it was amazing. He's a good dude. Okay, my wife brought this up. Yeah, we don't even have to do the weight goal thing. So 2 weeks ago, I wasn't feeling very well, and I wasn't able to get any exercise, so that put me behind. And then we've been traveling pretty much the past 2 weeks. I lost 1 pound, so I'm like slightly for the past 2 weeks. So I am going down, but I do have a game to give away. So I got one at around the $20 range. So we'll do a drawing later. It's Mist, which is a fun game. So this will be being given away, but we'll do that later. So, well, guys, before we get started, before we bring Mort on, I want to just, as I always share, what matters most to both me and Steve is our faith in Jesus. He, saved me from a life of sin and saved me and gives me eternal life. And we can all have that. We just put our faith and trust in him, believe what he did on the cross for us, that he died, was buried, and he was in the grave for 3 days, resurrected again. And we too can be resurrected and have eternal life. We would see our need for a Savior and put our faith and trust in him, and our sins will be forgiven and we'll have eternal life. If you have any questions about that, you can ask either one of us. Plenty of people in the chat, same thing. Or you can email me. I always put my email here. It's thepickinpreacher@gmail.com. That matters most. I love Mort, and I know he's cool with that too. So Jesus is first and foremost. But we're about to bring him on. I want to say I got to meet Mort this last weekend, eight days ago, and I want to say I've been watching his channel for a while, and great editing, great storytelling. He's done things that just stir up the emotions. I remember when he saw his younger self. If you haven't seen that video, when he saw his younger self, it did something to me because it kind of hit close to home, and I'm sure it did with a lot of people. So he's definitely got skills in the YouTube, but he's also quite a genius when it comes to talking about. He says no, he's not, but no, he's a genius when it comes to just knowing how to grab your attention and grab your heart and just pull your heartstrings, and knows how to make you feel good. So you're gonna see you all know him, but his smile is contagious, and he's just a good, genuine guy. And my wife noticed that first thing. So without further ado, you haven't met Steve yet. You're gonna meet him here. So here is Mort from Mort's Garage. What's up?
Oh man! Hello, gentlemen.
What's up, Mort?
What a sweetheart you are. That was such a nice thing to say. By the way, I missed what game you were giving away tonight.
Oh, it is. Oh, wow. Okay. I missed that. That was good.
Thank you.
That was very much I should have known that because that's very much a dad joke, right? So
yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Reseller Madness said, Will, he said, your storytelling is definitely next level.
You guys are too sweet. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Here's another next level. Was great. Yeah, you got to meet Rushmore or Kurt.
I did. I can't wait to hang out with him on his show too. That was awesome.
Absolutely.
Let's
see. Dad jokes for the way. Hey, it's Bryce. What's up, man? What's going on? We got Woodman in the house. Mortimus Prime.
I love seeing all these people. It makes me wish we were all back hanging out at the
I know, man.
the SEGE. Yeah.
The
You know what? I got to hang out with Woodman at his home. That's a collection. I'll just say.
I can imagine.
And I got the behind the scenes. I tried to steal some things, but my Christian faith wouldn't let me, so I let it go.
Well, that's good. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's happy for that too.
No.
Did it start and then you had to put it back, or did you stop before you?
He knows what it was. It wasn't anything video game related either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was something else, and I just kind of freaked out a little bit as a movie.
Oh, okay,
nerd,
yeah.
so, yeah.
Right on. That's true. You know, I didn't even have that. We'll probably talk a little bit about that too, because I know you love movies. So Akash is here. What's up, man? How's it going?
Dude, every time y'all get back from a show, I always feel so left out.
I know you need to go, man.
Come with us.
That's right. Okay.
One of us. Oh,
Easy
Bryce,
Gamer.
love you too, Bryce.
Easy Gamer said, Mort, if you went for another set, what would it be? We all know you got the N64 in the bag, or what was the closest you have now to a full set?
Going full set collecting was only for the N64. It was never intended to go for full sets on other collections. I'm not intending to sell or get rid of the N64 set once I have the manual. It's all I was kind of going really heavy on amiibos for a while, but then I ended up selling probably more than half of them, just because I realized that I was just sort of being a little compulsive on that. But I'm looking around my room, and I think it would be interesting to do a PS1 set. Probably my next favorite system is the Dreamcast for sure. And I've had a very large Dreamcast collection, but I've whittled it down just to the essentials. And I love the Dreamcast. I think a full set on the Dreamcast would yield some amazing stuff, but you'll see in my video I'm posting tomorrow or Wednesday, I got rid of 2 of the heavier games in the Dreamcast set. Just because I was kind of like, I'm not going to play these. And so I got rid of them. But what I like about the PS1 is it's expansive, and it has that beautiful range of truly terrible games. Like some of the worst games ever made. Like you think the Wii has shovelware. Have you heard of the PS1? I mean, it's just so bad. But then also just some absolutely legendary, in the way that I think the N64 laid the groundwork for how to make a 3D platformer. We're all building off of that same formula now. I think the PS1 sort of perfected so many, or gave us a really perfect template for so many genres as well.
Sure.
So I love that system, but every system has its charms. But if I had to go for a full set and you're like, all right, we're going to fund it, I'd be like, PS1. I bet there's a huge amount of untalked about games in that library, and I would just want to experience them.
One in particular that I love, that I picked up from Scott, I always pick up everything. He has everything. Is No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. Have you played that?
Haven't played it, but I'm very familiar with it. Yeah,
it's so much fun, man.
Yeah, I like I love the awful CG, like the awful early CG.
Yeah.
Like there's this terrible game called Time Commando that just has some of the worst controlling anything ever, but the opening cutscene is just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, see, I've seen, and I can't remember who it was. I saw somebody talking about it on some channel. I don't remember. I never played it, but I know which game you're talking about. Michael K. Speaking of Michael, here's Michael in the house right now.
So is me opening these packs sounding like I'm rustling with a bag of chips or something?
Oh, that I was hearing a little something. That might have been what he's opening up, some Elvis Presley cards. You see that? Do you see that comment there? Cranable. Mort is not human, by the way. That's why it seems so sweet.
It's just a lot of repressed emotions and carefully guarding a persona. That's all it is.
That's it. That's all it is.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, though. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, man, I'm going to put you front and center because I most people here, I know who you are, but I would like to know if you can just kind of, just tell everybody how you got started and all that. Like with YouTube, how long you've been collecting, all the generals, the good stuff.
Sure. I got exposed to the wonderful world of YouTube thanks to my good friends Aaron and Ricky over at Pixel Game Squad, then Retro Liberty. I was very active in a band called the Devious Means, and we played some show. And at that show, Aaron had like a photo booth, or Riff. He had like a photo booth. Woodman, I'll please be careful, sir. But they had this photo booth, and somehow I ended up friends with him on Facebook. And then all of a sudden and at that time, if you talked about the Nintendo, it was a very geeky, don't do that, socially unacceptable thing. And then I'm seeing this guy posting on his Facebook images of him holding up NES carts and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, you can talk about this now? Because I actually really like that stuff, obviously. And so long story short, I end up finding out about swap meets and Retro Liberty and hanging out with all of those guys, and starting to do some content and stuff with them. And behind the scenes of all of that, I have, I'm basically finished with graduate school. I'm collecting my hours to become licensed and doing all this stuff as a therapist, and just wanting an outlet and an escape and everything, but just ultra terrified to get on YouTube exclusively for a bunch of reasons. And eventually I was doing more and more stuff with Riff on Pixel Game Squad, and I started pitching him ideas. I was like, what if we do this, or what if we do that? And at that time, he was like, I'm just really focusing on game hunting because that's what most people are here for. If I do these other things, it's distracting from helping, my direction I want to go with the channel. And so I ended up going, you know what, I got to do it after my kids got cast in the film Asteroid City. And then after that experience, I mean, I was just like, all right, you only live once. I got to do this, and I'm gonna go for it. And I just started to make stuff. And what I fell in love immediately. I mean, it was like learning editing for me as I've been learning it. And the first video I ever made, I don't have on my channel. It's one of me and my daughter going to California Adventure, and I was learning how to edit and put all this stuff together. And then I've just, from the very first video to now, I just am obsessed to the point where I have a production company right now that helps other people succeed and thrive on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So it's, I actually remember one of the videos where you were talking about, you were doing all sorts of, like, you were kind of doing this, a video like this, and you decided to kind of pull back on some of that and just kind of focus in a direction. And I think that's when you started doing Mort's Attic.
Yeah, Mort's Attic exists so that, like, mainly for really long form content. I almost put the therapist interview that I did recently about addiction on that channel, but it was teased so much in the regular channel that I just felt like it was a better fit for it on the regular channel, and I'm glad I did that. But Mort's Attic is for podcasts, for our panels. Like, if I posted a panel video on the main channel, it would do great, but at the same time, I think for some reason it would just have a negative impact on the other stuff. And I've really come to learn and really do believe in that when you're early on, you can do whatever you want, but once you sort of really start to identify what your thing is, the more you can do that, the more you're going to grow. And so having a second channel is a wonderful way to just never stop experimenting, assuming you have time to make that much content.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
And also I make content exclusive on Patreon as well.
You do say that again?
I have exclusive content on Patreon as well. Some editing breakdowns and other stuff, just talking about, like, I do on my Patreon, people at the $7 tier can submit their video for review, and I give detailed breakdowns on critiques on, like, here's what I think your strengths are, here's where you can improve. And I just think, like, loving but direct and honest criticism is what helps us grow more so than people telling you what you want to hear.
Absolutely. That's cool. That I didn't realize that you were doing all that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So wow, that's cool. Retro Rob said, I remember when Mort first did his garage and there was like a moisture issue. It's been watching you for a while. So
that's gonna represent itself here when we get into SEGE conversations in a very sad way. So
in a sad way?
Yeah, you'll see.
Nate Toon said, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Nate.
Lewis said, your last video hit me hard. So
Lewis. If you're talking about me, I reposted or I reshared my video of the talking to myself one, because there's a lot of new people that are around since I originally posted it, and I feel very passionately about that video, so I wanted to share it again.
That's the one I was talking about earlier, right? We're talking to your younger. So yeah, that was really cool.
That was fun to make. Let me tell you. Yeah,
that was really cool. Will wants to know, what kind of music did your band play?
I've been in 3 different bands. The first band, well, 4. The first 2 bands I was in were more hardcore. I played drums in those bands. You can find up some old video of one of those bands right now on YouTube.
He's a drummer too, so.
Yeah, man, I think and feel and rhythmically I'm all drums. If I don't care if the guitar player is great, like if the drummer's just okay, I won't love the band near as much. So it's to me it's like drums. More so than vocalists, more so than anything is just drums. How do the drums feel? And then the third band I was in was sort of like we're influenced by bands at that time like Tristeza, maybe now like Godspeed You Black Emperor. I think that's what they're called. Sigur Rós, that kind of stuff, where it's just instrumental, vibey stuff. And then the band I was most recently in that played at SoCal Retro Gaming Expo is the Devious Means. We still have a lot of stuff up on YouTube that you can find, and I have some physical copies of our CDs that you can grab if you want one, and shirts and stuff. We stopped playing right around the time my wife and I brought our children into the world, all 3 of them at the same time. And that there's no room for being at bars at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night when you've got 3 kids at home. So
look, I know. I remember when we tried starting our band back and traveling around. Nah, it just wasn't happening. We played Cornerstone Fest.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, that was fun. But then
What years were you doing Cornerstone?
Oh man.
By the way, for those that don't know, Cornerstone is like Coachella, but for like Christian music from on like every end of the spectrum, from like Rich Mullins worship music to like dingy punk bands that smelled like urine. So the whole thing.
There was a bunch of like it smelled like, you're not wrong, because there was a huge crust punk crowd that was there.
But even some of the early footage of Me Without You playing in like a field, and like anytime the vocalist Aaron was like kind of going around, he would fall on the ground, and just dust would fly up everywhere. He has his Beatles haircut all. I was just like, I remember when I could do that kind of stuff. Not anymore.
Yeah, no, I know. I definitely remember being that way. I used to be in a dingy punk band, so definitely.
Awesome. There's something about this live. It's always, musicians are just attracted to it.
Yeah, well, I think it's because we're both musicians, and then I've also noticed in this space there's a bunch of people that played music or were in a scene of some sort, whether it was indie, punk, metal. It's usually more of like an alternative, type scene.
I did forget to mention Devious Means was influenced by bands like White Stripes, Band of Skull, Dead Weather, that kind of stuff. But so what years were you at Cornerstone?
Oh yeah, what years was I at Cornerstone? So I'm trying to remember. I know. Let's see. Oh goodness, I would have to look back. It was over 10 years ago, and I think we had taken a break. Like I'm trying to remember. How old was Elijah? Oh, she's not right there. He was 1. Oh wow. Okay, so that was 12 years ago. So what would that have been? 2012. When the world was supposed to end or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we were there then, and then 4 years before that, we did 4 years consecutively. I don't know if you remember like a Celtic punk band called Flatfoot 56.
I was by 2012, I was pretty disconnected from punk stuff. So no.
Yeah, well, we played their stage. We just did the underground stage, the Fat Cat stage. And there was another stage we did, but underground was kind of the main one that the hardcore and punk bands all played at. So, I don't know if you saw this. Do you see this Justice for Eric? Do you know what that's about?
I do. I think that Eric from Retro Gaming Pandemic is a wonderful person, but a little bit whiny lately about this whole pick and preacher thing. He's one of my favorite people in this group. So he knows I love him. You got to have him on. He's great. But
no, I am. We just haven't set up the date yet. I think it's going to be like the first or second week of August.
Yeah. It's great.
He said, "I heard the pick and preach. I heard the pick and I can't even talk. Pick and preacher hates love and peace. Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Erica said she knows Cornerstone. Did you go to Cornerstone? Man, we went for years, and I loved. I mean, I loved it, man. It was so much fun.
You know what? I love that we live in a time where I can go on YouTube and I can search the Crucified at Cornerstone,
Yeah,
or
I saw them
Tourniquet at Cornerstone, and just look up all this footage of these bands from the 80s and 90s that I loved that were punk and metal, that like I can watch that footage right now, or I can look up Old Me Without You sets or Roadside Monument sets and Pedro the Lion sets, and like they're right there on YouTube.
The Danielson family. Do you guys remember the Danielson family?
His sister went to my high school.
Really?
So, yeah.
You ever heard the Danielson family, Steve?
Nuh-uh.
They were wild, man. I remember, of course, the main one. The main one that's
Stefan
always
Stevens used to sing with them.
Did he really?
He did.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. I just remember, I'm a rubbernecker. Pixel Game Squad. Mort is CGI. He's not even a real person. There you go. There you go, guys.
It's true. I'm an AI replica. So, yeah.
Oh man, I guess CM Puke is talking about what. Wow, I just lost my chat here.
Josh,
talking about what Josh said.
Josh,
set up in the video.
Josh and CM Puke have a little bit of a public beef right now because Josh is eternally critical and anti Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
and CM Puke is eternally and forever has a love of Sonic the Hedgehog, and so I'm here as a peacemaker between the two of them.
That's good. I like that. I'll join with you.
But I also CM Puke is one of my favorite people in the scene as well. He's great.
I haven't gotten to meet him, just met him online. So
yeah,
lots of punk rockers in this video game space. Absolutely, I've definitely seen that.
Yeah.
Well, man, tell me a little bit about, because you didn't go to Arkansas Retro Expo, which was just this past weekend, but you did go to SEGE.
I did.
And there's some people in the chat. I see Riff here, and then we got Erica, and who else?
Gabbo's here, baby. Hello, Gabbo.
Oh, Gabbo, what's up? So many sexy people. I don't know if I'm that, but I'll take it.
Hey, when the middle-aged rage walks into the scene.
Do you hear this? Wow, it makes
gotta love it.
Tell me a little. Tell me your experience, and maybe this would get Steve. Steve, you hearing me? Maybe this would get you. Maybe you can go to one of them. Now he does go to Retropalooza, but it's hard to just travel all over the place. But tell me a little bit about your experience at SEGE and like what you picked up and meeting people and all that good stuff.
Well, I'll start with. Every expo has an identity to it and a feeling to it that is unique from the other one. And in that respect, each has a strength and weakness. I don't feel like you can copy paste these expos. And that's maybe one of the most wonderful things about it is their unique expressions of this hobbyist collector community in the very most genuine sense. So I've been now to 3 different expos. I'm about to go to a 4th one. And then I would argue that the version of SoCal Retro Gaming Expo that I went to is a different gaming expo than the one that they had this year. So, thank you, Gabbo. Look at that. That's awesome. So I would say for me, for SEGE feels like sleepaway camp, like summer camp. Where like you get to see all your friends, you show up, everyone has this great time. It's wonderful. It's super fun. And the friendship relationship, like everything is what it felt like, to the point where when it was time to leave, it was like, I felt like I was getting on the bus to drive down the mountain. You know what I mean? Like from summer camp. Like it was just,
I definitely remember those.
Maybe what's unique about it is I'm on the West Coast and SEGE is the East Coast. And so there's people who aren't going to be able to get from the East Coast to the West Coast. So people I interact with all the time online. And then here we are all together in person. And so in that respect, I just love that it's here and that we get to experience that. So just a super fun thing. Freaking riff. I'm reading some of the stuff here.
They're saying, "Shut up, Riff. Shut up, Gabo."
Dude, Trey Parker's here. Sweet.
Let's
Let's
see
talk
where
South Park.
Porch
But
Man.
yeah. Oh, Porch Man. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look at the
Campbell
money.
Boys in the house.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Look at you, man.
Oh man,
Making you rich tonight.
bringing man, you're the money bringer
Do
here.
you give it all
By
to
the way, thank you. Oh wow, happy. Wow. Okay, there we go. I'll
Yeah,
just
you
put
keep
it
going
up
through
there
this. I'm
for
gonna
you.
grab something. Hold on.
Thank you. Let's see. Man, there's a lot of thank you, Gabo. And then I think I saw Retro Rob. Thank you guys, man. Happiness. I appreciate it, guys. Trey Parker, thanks for coming in. Woodman, let's see, who have I missed? Mort's Bus. There's another channel we can get here. Mort's Bus. By the way, let me say this as he's walking away. This is one of the reasons I wanted Mort, because I knew he would go into a detailed explanation that a lot of people wouldn't about the different what did he say, characteristic of each.
I also don't know how to
exit.
shut up.
Oh, that's okay. That's what we want. We want people that will talk. So
Oh,
absolutely.
bro, you're getting rich tonight. I love it.
I know, man. I know. I'm thankful for. Oh, look, Porchman gave him money. Shout out to my neighbor Mort. Thank you guys. My wife said grocery money. Blue cheese. Blue cheese.
That's for Riff.
Hey, by the way, I like blue cheese.
I love blue cheese.
Okay. Yes. Okay. High five.
I prefer feta cheese, but I love blue cheese.
I'm the same way. So I do like feta cheese a lot more, but I do like blue cheese.
Love it.
Do you like blue cheese, Steve?
I love cheese, period.
There you go.
That's the correct answer. Way to go, Switzerland.
Yeah, but it says sour cream. He's a rich. Hopefully I can make SoCal being on East Coast. Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, I can't. I mean, it's going to be hard for me. I'm going to try to next year, but
I mean, that's SEGE, but I'll just say this about SoCal. SoCal is definitively my favorite expo. I think like Riff, the guys, they made, what I loved about it was it had such a unique identity that you could not copy and paste it to anywhere else in the United States. So like it was phenomenal. And I mean, and like part of it is because so many of those vendors I'm with all the time with, oh my gosh, look at this.
Oh man. I want my money to go to the IRS and not keep because the IRS is wow. Wow.
No, but truly, like I think if you were to go to it, I mean, there are so many unique things about it. So many of those vendors and I are friends because we do buy sell trade events probably twice a month. There's probably one a week, and frankly, in Southern California. And so being all in one big space was great, but it was so well organized. It was so well detailed. It was so well put together. And then there was a lot of freedom to be creative with it. So not only did you have like the Tetris World Championships, and a lot of big space for gaming and hanging out. Like if you didn't want to spend any money, you would still have plenty of things to do, which I loved. Yeah. But also like, I loved that he went with, it was my idea to bring in, early on, I said to Chris and Riff, I was like, listen, like, can we please bring in bands that do like music that we can all sing along to from like a nostalgic era in our lives.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of engagement could be a lot of fun and stuff. So we got to do a lot of fun stuff like that, but not to get too far away from SEGE, because SEGE is great. SEGE is like,
I want to piggyback on that for a second, because that's something I wanted to find out. Because when I saw that there was like, all the skateboarding was going on and the music, that's something, because I've been wanting to do something in, Mississippi, because there's a whole bunch of people here that are wanting that, but they're not really, they're not getting it. There's a lot of cool toy shows and stuff, but there's not really anything for, like in this area for that. So I was wanting to do that. And I was wanting to do something with, there's a local skate park, and I used to book shows at the skate park. And so I become friends with the guy. Anyways, I was just thinking, when I saw that, I was like, oh dude, that's something I would want to do. So I thought that was really cool. But anyways, I thought that was really neat. I wish I could have gone and seen it. Yeah,
it was great. I mean, it was super great atmosphere. So,
but go ahead. Sorry, I just was piggybacking.
No, it's fine. In fact,
for 60-year-old grannies who eat with dentures. Well, I'm a 60-year-old granny who eats with dentures because I like some blue cheese.
all that life experience has developed an excellent palate in good food. That's all that means. So, so anyway, Siege stuff was a blast and lots to say. Had a little bit of tragedy at the end of Siege. I will say, in terms of organization, things to do, Siege was also phenomenal. I mean, it was like, if you're on the East Coast, I mean, there's a feeling at Siege that I don't know that I could feel at the other ones. And maybe, I just think that it's so cool. So, yeah.
What would that feeling be? Can you explain?
People throw around the term retro game community with a fair amount of like almost like talking point. I actually feel like I am a part of a community, and part of that is I show up to that event. I don't know any of these people, and so many of the content creators that I've admired and now get to hang out with, so many of the individuals that like there's a friendliness and familialness that exists in that building that is just hard to beat. It truly is. And it's like I don't have a vendor booth there or a table there, so I just get to go and play and hang out and have fun. And even then, it was like, it was the coolest thing to go. I'd be talking with like my buddy Seth, he's a lovely human. We were driving around a bunch, and
I got to meet Seth. Yeah, it's good.
Seth is great. Seth is great. But we like I would go hang out with Seth, and then we would go over to this other group, and they'd be like, hey, like Eric and Jared, and like they would give me a ride somewhere, and then and then I'd go spend time with Woodman and get Indian food. And I have to say this too, I'm spoiling this for Josh. Josh is a hardcore gamer. Like, he plays more games than I ever will, and I love that about him. But he's not a collector at all. He's like digital forever. Like he just wants to play the games. And he at night one of the hotel, like we were just talking, and he was just like, I can't get over what this feels like for me, for speaking as himself, to be here, because it feels like these are all the coolest. And these are his words. These are all the coolest people, that have the greatest interests. And it's like he found his tribe. You know what I mean?
Oh wow! So that's cool. You talking about it?
He had never met any of them before, and so like to feel that instantly welcomed, that instantly part of the group. I just love that about this community, and that to me is what feels like a gaming community. And so even if you are a stranger, you could introduce yourself to someone, and you're likely going to get a friendly reply.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely, yeah. I ended up running into him while I was walking around doing something. And he was just, because I just met him there when we were all talking, and just really encouraged me. I was telling him about the giveaway series I was doing, and telling him my heart behind it, and he just encouraged me and was telling me that was real motivating. He just blessed him, so that's just really cool. Yeah, I definitely saw that my wife as well. So this is all new space for us. We've only been in this a little over a year, and my wife loved it as well, and so. Erica's son and my son were playing online today, playing games and just connecting with people. So yeah, I love that, man.
That's great.
I'm not sure what is. Did I miss something? DOBT. Do you know what that stands for? It's Sega Steve. He might have been saying dope. I don't know, or maybe he was saying doubt on something. I don't know. Let me know. I'm sure we'll eventually see it. I probably missed a lot in here. Let's see. Yeah, we missed a lot. Oh, JRPG Life. What's up? I got to meet Dan. That was first time for me to meet Dan. So
Dan and Elisa, they are my YouTube family. I love them so much.
Oh, he said blue cheese will ruin the gaming community.
Except for that part of his opinions, but
absolutely. Well, let's see what you got, man, because I know you grabbed some games. So
I grabbed a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to show it all off. But what I am going to, I'll show you I'll tell you a terrible story that happened, which is the flights home from Siege were fraught with storms and hurricanes, which delayed everything everywhere. So it started to pour when we were, supposed to be boarding the plane. I excuse me, I brought a carry-on bag, but then I brought a bag to check so I could ship back. I intended to buy a lot of inventory for my buy-sell trade events to build towards the manual, etc. I bought some rare stuff, and my bag. I'm an idiot. This is my fault. My bag. I didn't properly close the games up in plastic, and they left my bag out in the rain while waiting for it to go on the plane. So several of my very high dollar games got super water damaged. I was as soon as we got home, I realized this. So first of all, we're supposed to get home on 10 p.m. at 10 p.m. on Sunday night. We got home at 6 a.m. on Monday morning. So we were super delayed. And that stuff was just sitting in the bag soaking. So as soon as I got it home, aired everything out, dried it all out. Thankfully, none of the artwork stuck to the case to where it got super damaged, but some of it got it was like someone just dunked it in water. It was so bad. So I'm going to show you a couple of those games in a minute. These three games got destroyed, sadly. So we've got the 2 Silent Hills on PSP. Whoops, these ones.
From here, I can't really see that it's.
Yeah, so this one was basically this one was stuck at the bottom with water. You can kind of see it. It's so.
Oh, on the plastic there, on the actual case itself.
On here, it's hard to tell. Thankfully, we were able to save a lot of it, but let me see if I can get this. I don't know. Maybe this doesn't look as bad as I thought it was. But this was one I was just super excited to play and to have in my collection and everything. So I was pretty bummed about that. The worst of it was probably Silent Hill Origins, which this one's a little more visible. But you can see the back of the artwork here on the top got you could see.
Oh yeah, where it shed off or whatever.
Yeah, so that sucks. And then you could see the artwork there on the top.
Yeah,
that's all water damage. So I mean, all things considered, we were able to rescue most of it, which is good. But probably the more heartbreaking one was this is one of the hardest games to find on the PS3. If this says Nordic Games, not THQ Nordic, but Nordic Games, this variant is worth about $300. And the seller knew that. And this one got really jacked up, as you can see.
Oh, I can see it all warped. Yeah.
So, and honestly, the main version, the THQ Nordic version of the game is just this artwork and no manual. This one that just says Nordic Games has the manual with it as well. And so there's not just a print on it that's different on the cover. There's an actual manual with this version. Yeah. Okay. So I was super bummed. All things considered, we're safe. We're not in an area that's destroyed by hurricanes.
Warped?
What's that?
Just warped? Is it just warped, or can you see the watermarks?
You can't see the watermarks because basically when we got home, I got these out as soon as I could, laid them out. We we covered them in cloth and then ironed them on top to try and keep them as straight as possible. So I think if we wouldn't have done that, these would have stuck to the plastic and been destroyed.
I wonder if you could have the artwork pressed like they do a comic book. Yeah,
it's a great question. I don't know because it's not paper. It's that kind of plasticky paper.
Yeah.
Interesting. From here, it doesn't look as bad, but of course it's because it's video. I don't know, but
yeah, I think what's hard is that it's kind of works both ways. For people who want these games in their collection and a good enough copy is fine, and they don't want to pay the premium price, they're going to be excited. But for people who love games like Silent Hill, they're going to want the best looking version of that game. And so mine having some water damage may not be great. So I got this demo cassette tape from Matt from Vinyl Reckoning. Shout out to Matt and Stacy. This is his old band, his punk band. So awesome. I have a whole rack of old 90s hardcore demo tapes from all the shows I used to go to. Man. So put it where it rightfully belongs. Grab this for my collection, Neo Geo Pocket Collection. Nice. It's like a steelbook thing. I got this from Cultured Gamer, who gave me a great price on this. So I was really glad to add that. And then I did get a Dreamcast Heavy, which is a Techromancer. Nice. Thankfully, this one was saved from any water damage because I had it inside extra stuff, which was great. But This is one I've seen in a lot of places, but could never afford it. But this is at a table where you could buy one, get one half off. And so I ended up getting this for half off. And the other game I bought, I think, was one of the Silent Hills or something. So,
Yeah.
And then this is more an educational, but Crimson Sea on the original Xbox, I need to verify this, but supposedly this is the lowest printed game on the original Xbox. Supposedly.
So say it in the chat if anybody knows.
I think the Futurama game is of more value because even though it's got more prints, it's got a way higher demand. But I believe that this is the lowest printed game, and the value's kind of creeping up there. This one's complete, but it's just a hard one to find. It's a Koei game. It's a cool game, but if you have an original Xbox, look up this one on eBay. It's a hard one to find in. So I grabbed that one as well.
It looks really clean too. So
yeah, that was in good shape. Thankfully, that one did not suffer water damage, but got a lot of lovely gifts. Seth gave me this amazing N64 fanny pack. Dan,
nice.
Let me see if I have it. Yeah, Dan gave me this lock from the N64, which I was like, that's kind of unique.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so cool, but it's from anything N64 of its era. I'm like gonna take that. So. And yeah, so you know what? Here, this will show you. This got it real bad. You could see all the water damage on the back.
Wow. Yeah. Dang.
So I'm gonna take the cars out after I do the video showing off the pickups, and take the cars out. But because this is just destroyed. But
that sucks, man.
Yeah, could have been worse.
Yeah. At least some of the stuff didn't get any damage whatsoever, right? So
what's that?
I'm trying to look at it in a good way. At least some of the stuff didn't get any damage whatsoever. So,
hey, a few things. Yeah,
it's like, better.
There's far worse problems in the world than
that's
some
right. That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. Eric, you're right. I agree. The Pickin' Preacher's wife is much better than Keith. She's much better than me. She says I'm way cooler. I don't think so. I don't think I'm very cool, but thank you. I saw something in here. He also says he wants to see my wife go and break a Saturn game behind me. Wow. Man.
That's just
hey, Eric, bro. Bro, how about a hug, man? It's going to be okay.
Did you meet? Oh, no, you didn't meet Dave. Dave's Gaming Galaxy. I don't know if you talked to him online, but he does the Louisiana RetroCon. He said he needs you as a special guest at Louisiana RetroCon.
Hey, hit me up. That'd be a dream. I don't think I've ever been to Louisiana before.
Oh, for real? Well, there you go.
For real.
He said, and there it is. He's got you a hotel room and all. So,
bro, let's go.
Let's do it.
Oh man, I'd be thrilled and honored. Let's talk. Message me on Instagram. That'd be amazing.
Absolutely, that would be awesome, man. And that, of course, that one's in like a month, but do it, man. Come in a month.
Oh.
It's in September.
September. Give me a shot.
Yeah. Hit him up. You heard that, Dave, right? Keith was born from what? Keith was born from Gabbo's armpit after an intense game of 3-on-3 basketball.
Keith is a beautiful human, and you're acting like a spiteful child, my man.
Wow.
Come on.
Born from Gabbo's armpit. Well, Gabbo's a beautiful human too, so it might be his armpit, but what?
Some say we're made in the image of God. Others say we're made in the image of Gabbo's armpit.
Wow. Imagine if it was a sculptor's cut manual, though. Yeah.
Oh, dude, Woodman. I almost went home with one. So someone asked how the manual hunt's going.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this, but we had in starting up my new business, we had a couple of unanticipated startup costs that were substantial, and my fence between my neighbor's house and our house fell over. So we had to spend like $4,000 on putting up a new wall. And so basically everything that I built up at SoCal, like I was there, totally gone. Like I got to pay house expenses, but starting fresh, hoping to crank after it. But I think I've got a lead on a manual that hopefully will come together unless there's some other thing that happens. Thanks to Woodman, frankly. So
yeah. Now because I don't know as much about. It's not just because an issue of budget. Is that also just a hard item just to find? Period.
Well, it is an issue of budget for sure. But anytime it's about a $4,000-ish manual.
Okay. Wow.
And it's it's something where if you're gonna buy it, you're probably gonna have to buy the game complete and then sell.
Exactly. Yeah. Uh-oh. Did he slow down or am I slowed down?
Oh, hello.
Uh-oh.
Check.
There it is. That was a good spot to stop you at, though. I don't know if you saw. That was a very flattering. It always stops at the right time.
Yeah, good.
But okay, what were you saying? You mentioned about 4,000, and then
Yeah, so I think if I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna have to buy it complete and then sell off the cardboard and the game, separately, and then recoup some costs and do it that way. Every once in a while, it shows up on eBay, but it's usually like in really awful condition and it's missing a page or something. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know what my face was, but I'd love to know. So
it was like you're like your eye was like halfway open. It was funny. It was very very beautiful.
My brain moves faster than my mouth sometimes too. So, but anyway, so I don't know. I hope people understand that I'm not grifting anyone and everything. And also I haven't people don't donate to me for the manual. So please don't, but it's all personal funds and just the reality of budget is I have to, do these things in order to take care of my family. So
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So,
I'm not relating to a $4,000 manual, but I can relate a little bit about that. Looking for something expensive, and it was $1,000, not quite. But yeah, that is just for a manual. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that goes in. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm lucky I got the box when I did. I got the box right when the pandemic started from a collector friend of mine, Ryan, and he sold it to me for like a little undervalue at that time because he was just doing me a solid. And I ended up selling off the cartridge, and then I think all out the door on the box, I was like way under market once I sold off the cartridge. But whatever. I mean, that's part of the fun of it. I frankly don't want the journey to end because the format that it's lending for exploring all of the stuff underneath why people spend $4,000 on 8 pages of printed material is a fair question, because I know I'm not the only collector who will spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars or tens of dollars on something that is as trivial as collectibles.
Yeah. So that's I know we've been talking about a lot. We're probably not going to be able to go through everything and still be done in like the next hour, 45 minutes to an hour. But that kind of goes into, that doesn't even kind of go into, that goes directly into what I really wanted to talk about, which you've talked a little bit about. You talked on your, the one with the psychiatrist talking about, therapist. That's right. Therapist talking about is game collecting, what is it? What was it? Is it addiction?
Yeah.
And so let's talk a little bit about that, because $4,000 for some piece of paper for a game, right? I mean, if you want to be, negative about it, some piece of paper for a game. And like before I got into this, I thought the same thing. I was like, what are these people doing? I thought the same thing about any kind of, though. I was that same when people just get tons of shoes. I didn't understand it until I got in this, but tell me a little bit about that. Like even with you while you're collecting, is that something you genuinely sit there and think and go, should I be getting a manual for 4,000? Is that something
Yeah. So before I say anything, I have to give the all important disclaimer that this is not medical advice.
Yeah.
This is my personal experience. This is for entertainment and education. Absolutely. And I'd appreciate if you put that in the description somewhere as well on this video, because that just comes with the territory for me right now. But I took all of this as a genuine. I originally was just like, I'm not going to get the manual. It's totally fine. I'm giving up on it. And if I find it at in the wild somewhere, or at a thrift store or wherever else, then cool. But I'm not going to pursue it. And I was talking with my brother about it, and at the time for the YouTube channel was thinking, I need a story. I need like a bigger story than went to swap meet, found games, talked about their history a little bit, came home. I wanted a narrative that was over all of it, and I did it the only way I know how. I've been an adjunct graduate school professor. I've done a lot with teaching. I've taught at churches. I've been a pastor at churches. I've done a lot with that. And so the kind of educational format storytelling thing I wanted to have a lot of fun with. And so I was like, well, that's an opportunity. And then just with talking with my wife and my brother and some other people, it just kind of was like, this is something that would be actually really cool to do. And it fits with some of the broader goals that I have in mind. And it's truly has been something that's been coming back as a really rewarding thing, both, for how it's reaching other people, but also what it's causing me to think about. I'm a firm believer. One of my favorite verses in all of scripture is when Jesus is talking about judge not lest you be judged. I believe the preceding scripture is something to the effect of don't worry about the speck in your brother's eye, worry about the plank in your own.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that if everyone were to individually stop worrying about everyone else's problems, but tending to their own hearts, that would have a profound impact on the way that we relate to one another.
Sure.
And so I looked at the manual hunt as a way to go, instead of going, what's wrong with them? I wanted to go, what's wrong with me? And why,
that's good. That's good.
So, so for me, it was just kind of going like, okay, well, like I can be judgmental about someone spending thousands of dollars on a jacket for a collectible of some kind, but like, I'm going to do this to complete my 64 set, but at the same time, ask myself questions along the way. And so the Finish the Hunt series has been about just different things I've heard over the 10 or so years I've been around all this stuff. And just giving myself, I think, like an excuse to make videos that are meant to be a little bit more introspective, because I think amassing collections of hundreds, if not thousands of video games.
Yeah.
I really think like I have to be at a point where I go like, why do I do this?
Yeah.
And not why do I do this? You have a problem, but like, maybe I do, but like, why do I do this? Because I just want to know. Because a lot of people devote their lives, their hours, their time, their money to a lot of pursuits that just look a lot differently, but it might be similar. Mine just happens to be in this area.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. So throughout the whole series, I genuinely have been like, I wonder if there's some ways to flesh out some of these things I've been thinking over the last several years in a way that's coherent and meaningful. But I'm convinced that, so far, some of my main takeaways are that, what's just in the videos. I think that our childhoods have a lot to do with this. I think that sometimes, we do this thing where we take past experiences that have affected us and we replay them as adults. There's a lot of science behind this, about trauma and attachment and a lot of amazing stuff around this. And I truly think that like so much of our behavior has a metaphor to it as much as it is literal. And I really think that like, if I were to come out and say like, you guys, this, and this, I just think that I push everyone away. But if I say, hey, all of us, or I just say me, hey, me, and me, what's the thing in me? And I just think that works. Jesus was actually quite smart about some of these things, as it turns out. So,
actually smart. Yeah. Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it?
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that you say that because I've, I'm sure I've told you a little bit about, Steve knows, I've battled, for as I'm striving to be, a man of God, right? I've battled with seeing in my own problems, finding it in other people. It's, it's easier to find things in other people than yourself. And so, you don't ignore there's problems because we all have issues we're working on. But like that, I like that you said that because whenever I'm able to look at myself and see, myself and see the things that, probably other people view about me that I might not even seen. It helps me to have a lot more grace towards other people that, don't,
that 100%. Like if you look in yourself, like take anything, take prejudice.
Yeah.
If you look inside of yourself and look at your own prejudice, that might affect the way that like, rather than like, we need to call out prejudice, of course.
Sure.
But like, I have to also be real with the fact that like, maybe there's some really unsavory things about myself that I have to constantly bring up to the front, because of my own, my own flaws or humanity as well.
That's
and
right.
I think like it, when I kind of see that in myself, when someone else like I'm going to project it one of a couple of ways. I'm either going to project it by calling out everyone else's sins and how dare you and condemn you. But oftentimes that's because I feel so guilty about something in me that I'm going to point it out in everyone else. This happens all the time when someone's cheating on their spouse. You know, one of the things that I've learned is that oftentimes people will then start accusing their spouse of cheating on them. And so like because of their own stuff. And in my mind, that's just projecting out something that you feel inside. And I think in a way it's like Jesus's words are so interesting here because he's saying, rather than worrying about everyone else's problems, why don't you look at the ones inside of you? That's probably, and it's more fruitful for change in general. So I think like that's just a big thing.
Well, then, you know, like says, then, you know, a right form of judgment, a righteous judgment can come from that. So then it says, then you can help your brother remove the speck. Right. And so if you have a speck in your eye, it's not going to feel very good.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to want help with that. And so then when you see how you've removed things in your own life that are there, then you can help someone who is also, and then it becomes less about, oh, they have something in their eye. It becomes, oh, how can I help you? You know, because they're.
Yeah, I am concerned first and foremost that others are thriving. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
I don't care about I don't care, you know, like I care that like you're doing well.
Yeah.
And I don't like however your life may look, no matter what it may look like, what you front face it with. I'm just so convinced that the heart is a such more interesting place in terms of what really matters and what like I do this a lot with folks that I work with. Is we have this triangle. At the top is our thoughts, over here is our feelings, and over here is our behavior. And, you know, so if I think there's a boogeyman under the bed, I feel scared. And in feeling scared, I behave by hiding under my covers. Yeah. But like the behavior came from a whole process before that.
That's right.
And I think like if you just focus on people's behavior, like that's what I mean by the whole manual series is to go stop worrying about the behavior. What's going on inside of the person.
There you go. There you go.
It's going to be way more interesting anyways, because we can all, even though someone else may not do the exact same thing that I do as a collector, they can relate to the heart thing inside. That's maybe, right, you know, distracting from something else or whatever. So, I think that like, I have no room to judge anyone. I have no room to condemn anyone.
That's right.
I have enough things in my own life to work on, enough of my own imperfections to be focused on. And in so doing, my behavior, like I say this to myself and to anyone that I ever work with, is, you know, I would rather be curious than condemning. And so like, there's a reason for why we do all the things that we do.
That's right. And
if I go out instead with condemning everyone for what they do, or condemning myself, even if I'm like, that behavior is bad, don't do it. I need to know, like, you know, outside of, you know, illegal stuff or whatever, but like, but in general, I think like the more helpful thing, if you really want to transform and change, is instead of going, stop the behavior, but ignoring the thoughts and the feelings and everything else that's going behind it, I would way rather go like, okay, well, like, what's the, you know, not just what's the behavior, but be curious about what the behavior is revealing about me. What is it saying about me? A classic, but maybe too cliched example is like when you yell, it's because you don't feel heard, you know, or whatever. Like it's, you know, that kind of a thing. So
absolutely. That's no, that you hit the nail on the head. I think that's really good. And that's why I wanted to bring you on, man. Well, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the many reasons. But I've definitely, like, as I've, you know, gotten to know a lot of different people, you know, collecting, it has, you know, okay, I'll give an example. I was talking to somebody I know them close to, and we were talking about somebody they had seen, and they said, man, it was somebody was selling something, and they said, man, they were selling a video game for like $500. And I was like, man, I just did a series where I did it for $1,000, game for $1,000, you know? And so I was like, oh, they probably think I'm a weirdo. And the thing is, you know, didn't understand why they did it, or, you know, and I did the same thing when I first got in this. I was like, why would adults want a bunch of games? Like, I just don't understand, especially if they're not even playing it. And like, you know, isn't there more important things?
Okay, I play every single one of my video games, sir. How dare you?
Absolutely. But it's, and then I thought about it and I was like, man, I've said the same thing about other people, not even collecting, just things they do or things they like. And, it's, Daryl Davis. You know who Daryl Davis is? If I'm saying the name right.
No.
So he was the man that went into the what was the white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, and like went in there to like engage with them and understand them, and he helped bring a lot of people out.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he went in, and African American man went into and said, "Why do you hate me?"
He did a TED talk, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I did see some of that. Yeah, keep going.
But he went in and said, "Why do you hate me?" And there was all this reasoning, and he said, "I wanted to understand them." And so he became friends with many of them. Some of them gave him their and he took it as an honor. They gave, instead of just saying, "Well, I'm going to burn it," he took it as an honor, that something that meant so much, because he was beginning to get to know them. And what happened is he was able to pull a whole bunch of people, out from that, and realizing, sure, there, you do want to come against evil, and so of course I'm probably going off the rails on here, but you do want to come against evil or whatever, but at the same time, why are they being that way, or why is that? Now with collecting, it's not anything evil. It's something fun. At least I don't think it's evil. Is it evil more?
Is what evil?
I said collecting's different though. That's not evil, I guess. But
it's pretty evil.
It's pretty.
Yeah,
evil.
it just depends.
I guess it could be, right?
I think, like, to go back to your point, I think one of maybe the underlying questions for, what's that gentleman's name again?
I could be saying it wrong, but I think it's Daryl Davis. Let me see.
Okay, if we're misquoting him, Daryl, he illustrates something very important, which is that I have yet to find. I think when people are changed, like, think of our political rhetoric. When people change or engage over fear and rage, it's not real change. It's appeasing. Like, we're appeasing others' rage, but. Or we just push them farther away. Like,
say that one more time. Say that.
In my experience, when people come at other people with condemnation, with rage, etc., it doesn't change things. It just sets people in the ground even more, and maybe even pushes them further apart.
Sure.
And so, like, people might change their behavior because they feel powerless, and they're doing it to appease the individual with whom is, like, condemning them or whatever. Not because they actually are making a heart change. They're just trying to appease the other person. I have found in my experience that, like, there's this woman who came out of Westboro Baptist, and someone said, like, how did you leave? Like, because she was on the picket lines with the horrible signs and everything. And they said, like, how did you leave? And she goes, I just started having a friendly conversation with someone, and they just asked me thought-provoking questions, but they weren't like, like, people will go by them and be really condemning as well and everything and stuff.
That's right.
And it doesn't go anywhere. Like, but I truly believe, I mean, this is biblical, as far as I'm concerned, is that, like, love is what transforms. Like, love has the ability to transform things way more than anything else. And when I say love, I mean it in, like, the most active, pure sense of the word, in the sense of just, like, as, like, not like you're not curious about. I'm not curious about other people's worldview because I'm looking to change it. I'm curious because I'm genuinely curious. Like, I don't have a dog in the fight, and that's kind of what I care about, is just, like, to be to be kind of, loving, because, like, I'm just curious. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely, sure. No, I agree with you. I think there's Steve is laughing. Was it something in the chat, Steve? I saw you laughing. I've seen something. Somebody said I look. Eric said I look like Indian restaurant aftermath. I don't know what that even means. But unless you're just saying after you eat the Indian. I don't know.
Eric said you're about to get Daryl Davis on before him.
Well, he was scheduled first, so Sheila said, how many videos did you make at Siege?
I haven't made any. I'm way behind. I think I'll probably have 2. I have a really fun one with for each day.
Okay. Right on.
And they're just like for convention videos, they're mainly vlog style videos about just trying to find deals to, for my collection and also to put towards the manual.
Anthony, it's Mist. That's the one I'm giving away. So I'll be adding I'm going to do it later where well, yeah, I was interested because that's I think about that sometimes too, because then I think, well, why did I get into this? Because I would have never thought I would have gotten into this. But this is actually, I hear different sides. I hear some that, getting into collecting, it almost has a negative impact and can keep them away from things that matter. But I've also heard the other side. And so for me, as obviously, video games aren't God, but I believe God has used it to help. Yeah, Steve, that's right. No, definitely not. One of the things with like the giveaway thing that I'm doing, one of the things that I say is that, Christ gave me a free gift, and even though it doesn't compare, I want to in return give a free gift. But so it doesn't compare, but it can be used that way. But something that this whole thing is YouTube, even meeting resellers, meeting a bunch of the people who play video games and collect, or just part of sell them, don't even play, whatever. This whole world that I've come to know in the past 2 years has really helped me, because it helped me to look and be honest about even some of my own issues that I struggle with, or even just doubts I have, and just be able to be real. And then also just to pull me out of some things, where I, like I said, we're beating up myself. Where you said when you're judging somebody else, it's because there's something in yourself that you don't want to really admit to.
Sure. And let me be clear, that's not a blanket statement. I'm saying, could that be the reason, right? Is that there's something like I think like a universal black and white statement around that might be a little strong, but I know.
Yeah. Well, like I'll give an example. Me and my brother, not my brother, we kind of separated a little. We had a lot of differences and just views. And I thought, man, he loves playing video games all the time. I'm like, man, you're an adult, and so I didn't understand it. And then I picked up some games to resell, and it just triggered something and brought me back to a place. And now it's gotten me closer to my brother. And so, and on a deeper level than just games, it's just helped us to connect to a place of, a friendship that we, once had. And so it's helped humble me a lot. I've met people from all different faiths and even denominations in the faith I have that have just helped me, which is where I was before. I just kind of went down a route for a while.
I had a theology professor who said he wanted to do his dissertation on a theology of play. And I thought that was an interesting idea. He was, but I think playing is great. Playing is fun. Like having fun is an important part of being human and living in this world.
Absolutely. I think that's really important.
Yeah. And if there's aspects of this that overtake your life in a way that's not good, well, be curious, not condemning about why that's the case. But the being playful and having fun is wonderful. There's no reason to be upset about that. But I think just enjoying and having a hobby. I would not have been at Steve. Heckin' Steve! Hey, buddy!
I think he's been in here a while. That was back 13 minutes ago. Same with Go-Go.
I got to meet him in person.
You did.
I did. I did see some of his comments. That's right. I'm glad you highlighted him. Good to see you, Steve. But
some of the stuff what you're saying is the memories of when I was a kid, talking about having fun, and this is what It's All Duggan Game said.
Well, okay.
Remember being young and having it being like a childlike spirit, right?
All right. I know people didn't come here for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Can we do a quick little theology on this?
I'm good with that.
I know. I wouldn't normally talk about this on my.
Sure.
So here you go. The Book of Genesis is written in a chiastic structure. Do you know what that means?
So that I'm not as familiar with. So
okay.
Say it again.
So it's a poem or a song, and it's Hebraic, and so what it is
know that word. So
it's written like an X.
Yeah.
which means that the centermost part of the creation story is at the center of the X in the way it's written. I heard this was taught by a teacher that I really liked. Do you know which verses land right in the center part of that text?
I don't know. What is
It's
that?
that God rested.
Oh wow. Okay.
That book was likely written around the time they had just come out of captivity. And so the centermost part of the text that God rested might have been interpreted as, and I could be screwing up this hermeneutic, hermeneutic scholars, please comment if I got this wrong, because I don't want to be wrong here. But the point of it is that in the centermost part, that's the most important part of the text. And the most important part of that text is God rested, and it was supposed to be after they came out of captivity. The point of that whole passage was it's okay to, not the whole, so there's a lot of points to that passage, but one of the big points is that like rest and play are important for us.
So so that's one of the things that kind of helped me too, is constantly, so I was so constantly at war, righteous war. I gotta see the world change, and all this stuff. And then that you got Mary and Martha, right? One was working, and which is doing good, but one was with Jesus at his feet. And so something that I had preached on was that Christ is pleased most when we rest in him. Sure. And I've found that when I can rest, because the moment I start worrying and start thinking, well, am I good enough, or is he pleased, or what are other people going to think? What are non-believers and believers, or unbelievers, believers? What are they going to think? And then I go, well, I'm not resting and just trusting in the goodness of God in that. So
you don't need to answer this question, but you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
If you're curious and not condemning about this, I would ask you to reflect on: do I feel like I need to always be at war, and if so, why?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a question worth pondering on,
absolutely.
And one that I think all of us can probably get to at some point. But
that's good. That's a good question. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So anyway, we're way off the topic of video games.
but that's okay. Kind of could see that. I wasn't planning on doing that, so I blame you, Mort. So I'm going to condemn you for. Can Steve kick Keith, and then could we invite our consultant? He said, "Don't you put that on me." I don't think he's talking about. I think he's saying that to Flipper too. Dean Colbert, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in.
The Steve-O and Spazzy show.
The Steve-O and Spazzy show. There we go.
Right, Steve, you've been awfully quiet. I apologize if I've just.
Oh no, I'm just taking it all in, man. I'm taking it all in, dude.
Plastic and cardboard is goated.
I'm a big
if
fan
I had
of
to pick a preacher, it'd be the pick a preacher. Well, I appreciate that. Mort, you get $1.30. So
hey, sweet.
That one. The goat.
I hope, man. Dean, I'm working on it.
Converter. That's right. Most people need to mind their own business. Well, you're talking about scripture. It says that a man should work with his own hands, not being not to be busybodies, and kind of stay in our own space. Not everybody's life is our business. We should be wanting to help. We should be wanting to help things be better, but sometimes we get in the way of that. Let's see. Man, there's a lot. Do you see anything in the chat that I know I missed a lot? I'm looking at all.
No, I think that
N64 has the worst controller ever.
Dean is 100% right. It is not a good controller.
Yeah, I agree.
So the N64 is like it's the middle schooler of video game consoles. It's like maturing, but it's not there yet. Like for like 3D platformers and stuff, and it's incredibly vast library of JRPGs that JRPG Life loves to play. But also there's something endearing about like figuring it out as you go along. So I love that. Dude, Eric is on fire.
He is on fire, man. Wow. It needed more JRPGs. I do think it needed more role-playing games, period.
Yeah, there's like 5 of them. I had Dan and Elise over at the garage, and we did a video about all the N64 JRPGs, and He titled the video "The N64 is." It had an N64 in the trash. that was
Oh.
Erica said the chat does not match the vibes of the video.
Yeah, I think some people are kind of like, "Why are we talking? We should talk about other stuff." So, I get it. It's all right.
But it goes with the whole psychology of things. I don't even remember. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we could probably talk about that. Like I said, it's been an ongoing process, but it has been something. Well, I'll give an example. Okay, so I understood. I was like, okay, what you said, your one series or one set is 64. My one set that I'm going for is Sega Saturn. That's as far as I know, that's the only set North American library I'm going to go for. But I was like, okay, I'm just going to get the games. Well, now I picked up the Sega Saturn. It's the rental. It's a rental, like when you So I picked up the carrying case for the rental, and awesome. Then of course, supporting other businesses, Pixel Parts made that cool controller, like a deconstructed controller, and then I got the Sega Saturn light up sign. I got it right on top of my TV.
Awesome.
Let's see if I can focus it a little bit better. Let's see.
Yeah, I thanks to Dan from JRPG Life, I have been taking to collecting things that are from the N64 era, but are random little things like the lock and like
and
stuff.
It's
been
fun,
awesome.
man.
I love it.
But it's weird. Like something once you get into it, it's you get more into it, and that's how it was with music. And the more I got into music, I wanted to know more about where did that genre come from?
Yeah,
and I want to know about the bands that influenced them. So those giveaways were free. Keith charged me last time. What? Wow. Giveaway Burning Rangers, please. Okay, so I do giveaways, but I haven't given that. I don't know if I could give that one, because I definitely couldn't, because that one was given to me. Somebody gave me Burning Rangers, so I could not give that one away. So that's a gift forever. So I'm sure you knew I couldn't do that, but I don't know, maybe not. In some crazy way, it kind of gives me some peace. Also takes a lot of work off my mind.
I think that came up when we were just talking about collecting and gaming and stuff.
Yeah,
so
Big Comics, what's up?
There are worse outlets to have, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Keith, will you pay this therapy session with the super chat monies later? Yeah, I'm in a therapy session with you right now. So
no, you're not. This is not therapy.
I know. I'm joking. Entertainment. I was being humorous. It's a humorous statement. I promise. Just tuned in, but the Jaguar controller is the worst. Okay. Yeah, I didn't like the Jaguar.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah. And somebody says Atari 50. So the Atari controllers are the worst.
So this is like
either.
So this is like a weird dream. You're sitting here in a therapy session, and I'm just sitting watching.
Yes, you're making sure I listen. So you're the accountability.
There you go.
Manny said, I have trouble keeping my hair styled. What does one have to do to have the look and volume of Mort's hair?
Manny, you need to have genetics based in Lebanon. That is part of how it's worked for me.
There you go. So
my dad still has an almost entirely full head of hair. He has a little bald spot on the back, but it's not big. And he's cooking. So it's good. So it doesn't have the wavy stuff that I have, but there you go.
Got the nice hair, so that's good. Do something more modest, like the full North American Switch set. Yeah.
Good Lord, man. So many games. That's crazy. I think the fun thing about the set collecting for me is I just love the what I love about it is I love the focused nature of it, in terms of a goal. It's like fun to do, but there's a reason why I think a lot of people will get full sets and then be like, oh, do I really want all this stuff? It makes sense. But it's funny when I look at these N64 boxes, I'll look at just the back, screenshots, and it's just such a satisfying feeling to look at that and be like, wow. Like I remember buying this at Target, or whatever back then. I remember buying Wipeout 64 at Target and being so excited. It was in the $20, bargain bin, and I was just thrilled to play that game. And I don't know. So, and I truly, I don't think I've played all of the N64 library, but I have probably played like 90% of it. Not all the way through, but like just tried every game. And I
am with Saturn, so
I truly love it. I truly think it's such a fun console. However, I'm the first to admit that if I were to, without any previous history with the Nintendo 64, pick up an N64 controller and play those games, I would have a really rough time. Like, it would not work without nostalgia.
Yeah. Oh, before I read that one, Michael K said, "I remember hair."
I'm looking at that beautiful image of Michael's profile picture there, and that bald cap looks like hiding the head. So I get it. Yeah.
Video Game Inventory, which was at
Votary
Southeast Game Exchange, said, "Totally agree with more. I love the focus hunting. I'm going my third complete set." Wow,
he is such a gem. So good to see him.
There we go. Yeah, well, it's going to 10, so we'll just kind of move forward. I want to ask about YouTube, because I've seen you talk a lot about YouTube. I've actually, if I could use the word taken some of your, and one of them was the some of your editing things that you do.
Yeah.
The O, walking through the O.
I remember that.
Amazing. I saw it. I said, I'm gonna do it. I have to do it. I'm taking some of his creativity, but so we were listening to a podcast from. Have you ever watched the YouTube channel Preston Goes?
No.
Okay, so Preston Goes is kind of like a Ryan Trahan type, cool. Like where they show, but he does a lot of builds. He'll like weld stuff together. But I've had a lot. I just want to hear your thought on this, because do you do your own editing?
Yes.
Okay, you like doing your own editing, right?
I love it.
Okay, see, that's because I've had people say, one day, if you keep doing this, you'll have to pay an editor. Do you think that is you have to, or because?
Man, this is so tough. Everyone's got a different love of the YouTube creative space, and so I don't think there's any one good rule or one size fits all. And so I think because I'm so obsessed with movies, I love going like, ooh, I want to see what a shot framed like that would look like. Or I think because I've been a drummer and I'm just in love with rhythm, I think like part of it is like just trying to find a flow of the video, and trying to work within the algorithmic sort of ways that blesses the video with impressions. But ultimately, I think like the perfect example is I love like that conversation with myself video. I used a TikTok filter to de-age myself, and then I screen recorded that, blew it up big, softened the other image so that they looked fairly similar. Wow. Because of all the resolution loss.
Yeah.
And then and then filmed and recorded that whole scene. But it was like that was like, I think it was like, for me, it's like, for a lot of people, YouTube is fun and it's business, and they do a lot of really cool stuff with it. Some people just want to make videos and they're not thinking much beyond that. For me, it very much is like there's an art in it for me. Like it's a platform where I want to make something creative and meaningful, not just make something to make something. Nothing wrong with however you approach it.
Absolutely.
But for that reason, it's really hard for me to think of giving off the editing to someone else. And to add to that, people have been very generous with their comments about the editing and the videos. And I look at what I'm doing, like, okay, like this is maybe a way to think about it too. Editors, I think, have two skill sets in their bag of tricks, or in their pockets. One is the bag of tricks, which is walking through the O, having cool like creative effects, all that stuff. Yeah. But the most important thing as an editor is learning, I think, how to tell a story. And maybe the best example of this is there's a movie called Dear Zachary, a letter to a son about his father. It's filmed in like someone's like handheld camera, 4:3 aspect ratio, or maybe it's 16:9. It's not well produced. You know, there's a lot of really crazy editing and stuff that's on it in terms of like some of the cuts are, you know, kind of quickly paced and everything, but there's definitely skill there.
Yeah.
But the storytelling and the way he reveals each part of what happens in that story, I kid you not, I was weeping at the end of that movie
Wow.
when you realize
yeah.
when you realize what you're watching. And to me, that's like an editor, like whoever edited that, I think it's the guy who directed it, took all of that footage and found the most important parts, constructed it in a way that revealed the story. Gabo gave me the privilege of I don't know if directing is the right word, but like putting together his video about his NES collection. And I had so much fun kind of figuring out like, how do we tell the story? Because he had all this meaning and stuff around his whole life and story that's in that video. And I was like, I want to tell this as good as I can. And it was super rad. So
yeah, then that's one of the things, is being able to get, make it all make sense, make it flow together. Yeah. That's on that podcast. It said it was Colin and Samir, and they were interviewing Preston Goes, and they said that they thought that a lot of the YouTubers editing, like just loving the whole process of the editing, is something that has been lost over the years. That it's kind of changed because, which once again, it's also a new thing now, right?
Yeah.
YouTube's also, there's also the side of like using it, because I also use it to network people. I've gotten really good deals because of YouTube.
Sure.
So it's also a business aspect. But that side of, I don't want to lose that just to chase the algorithm, you know. I want to, it's part of it, because you want people to see your creation. So you have to, just like music in some ways, you know, you want people to listen to your music. So in some ways, you know, especially if you already have people that are listening to you that like you, in some ways, you know, they're giving you the honor of liking your stuff. You want to give back to them something they want. Yeah. And so in that sense, without losing your creative touch. But I just kind of wanting to hear your thoughts on that. And
I think the reality is the amount of time that it takes to run a YouTube channel, especially if you're at that full-time level, is not as simple as a few hours of editing a video, for me anyways, and then you call it done. Like there's a lot of thought and process that I put into like, what am I going to do here? What is the place I'm going to go with this? And a lot of that is, it just takes time to construct all of that and put it together. And I feel an obligation to make something that like is genuine. Like I don't want to, I don't. So I don't know. So I could see myself hiring an editor one day if it made sense based on the stories I was trying to tell. But I would have
or really maybe strong, like a bulk editor, just somebody who bulk edits, just to, and then you could start. Yeah, I mean all kinds of stuff. I'm just wondering your thoughts. I've thought about it. Like,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I've thought about it. Like, is it something I would want to, or like, you know. I mean, I don't know. Of course, that's a day away for me. So to even think. Well, let me do this. I'm gonna let you answer. I'm gonna get people to put in the chat. For those that know, this mist is being given away, and if you can put in the chat, put hashtag Sega Slimdown, and I will put your name in the wheel of names. And one of you is going to get this. And so put hashtag Sega Slimdown, and I'll put your names in there. And then I'm going to give you some questions here while I'm putting in those names. Gamer Emporium said, Mort, I heard California is an expensive state to live in. So in general sense, what do you do for a living to help support your gaming habit? Love you guys.
So my games are mostly funded by what I resell. I do a lot of reselling and stuff. So that was the primary motivation to resell, was just to have like a fun outlet for the hobby. But as far as what I do to support, like in terms of like professionally, I've talked about like therapy. And then also I started a production business that focuses on YouTube content for brands and for companies. So I do that too.
Awesome. Then somebody asked about you're looking for like manuals and stuff. Are you looking for reg cars? Here it is. If you want to read And while I'm getting all these Sega
Question
Slim.
for Mort: you finished the almost the complete N64 set. Do you continue to curate things like inserts, registration cards, condition upgrades of paper? Every once in a while, something's really damaged. Then I just upgraded a couple boxes. Cody with the K helped out with that, which was awesome. And then as far as like registration cards, I'm not quite that granular, but sometimes when I get a lot of games, what I might do is go home, open up the new lot, and if there's like a registration card that's in there that I don't have in my current copy, I'll throw it in, but I'm not like actively looking for it, or a poster or something. And I'm not always guaranteed that the poster that's in the box of the game that I get was in it originally as well. So it's kind of all over the place. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's a big process, getting every little thing. I'm trying to get all these names in here. How did RNG Gamer. Hey, man, I didn't even see you, Jamie. How's it going, man? I didn't even see your name in the chat.
Look at all the beautiful people here today.
Know,
Every
man.
one of them. My
Rushmore
goodness.
Show.
I was
By the
sitting
way,
here
go
trying to
check out
figure
the
out
rest-
why I was so uncomfortable in my chair, and I completely forgot about my new stool, man. My new stool. Mort can relate to this.
There we go. Yeah, he's a drummer as well.
Yeah, baby. I love that. Love that.
Is that not the most comfortable stool in the world?
When I was playing, Pork Pie had just came out when I started going to college, and I gave my drums away to a high school kid who was getting into punk rock and needed a drum set, so I gave him my drums so he could keep playing while I went off to college.
Dude, this stool I bought it specifically for use in my eBay room.
That's awesome.
It is the most comfortable stool ever, dude.
Love that.
I saw you send that message. So let's see, JRPG wife. Hey, how's it going? Look who's in the house.
I've only got a couple of minutes left. I'm gonna take my daughter out for a walk. So.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're ended it up here. We're gonna do this and then head out. So
cool. Thanks everyone for joining, and also
yeah, absolutely, and thank you.
The wild tapestry of conversation tonight.
Yeah, we went all over the place for sure. But that's kind of what happens when you just kind of talk, right? And especially if you're talking about deep things. Okay, I think I have everybody here. Let me know if you see anybody. I have Will Ain't Dead, Akash, Game Emporium, Video Game Vittori, Retro Gaming
Votary. Video Game Votary.
What did I say?
You said Vittori. It's Votary.
Oh, wow. Votary. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Retro
Card Collector. My man.
Did you put your thing in there? I don't think I put Retro Card Collector in there. CM Puke, JRPG Life and JRPG Wife. Dean Colbard's OG Sega Steve, Z Squared Gaming, RJC Media, Dave's Gaming Galaxy, RNG Gamer, Rushmore Show, Manny's Arcade, Michael K, Reseller Madness, Zappa Powered, Seth Tanner. Is there anybody I missed? Yeah, definitely like the video. Thank you, Steve. Grease Monkey. I didn't see your thing there. Sorry, Grease Monkey. Can you put Keith to sleep next? Okay, I think that's everybody. Bryce, did you get in there? Did you see Bryce is on there? I think that's everybody. No, I got Will in here. I might have just not said your name. But no, you're the first one on here, actually, Will. All right, well, let me share this screen, and we're going to end after this, and I'll have whoever wins, I will have you are you able to sit here for this part, or do you need to go right now, man?
I got like 2 minutes.
If you need to go, man, hey, you know what? Let's do that. We'll tell you bye. Let's tell Mort, hey, how can they get a hold of you, Mort? Anyone who doesn't know.
Instagram. Dang, bro.
RNG Gamer, man, you're bringing in the dollar bills.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
I love this group. I love this community. I hope you always feel welcome and everything. Thank you for watching any of the things that I do, and thanks for having me on, Keith and Steve.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it,
you guys. I love it. I love learning from all of you. I love watching all of you. Keith, your editing is so good. I'm just enjoying your videos and all your guys' content. So,
hey, Cody with a K.
Cody hooked it up. I've been referencing Cody in every video because of the boxes. So thank you, Cody. He's been in the last 2 or 3.
I've been trying to get Cody on the live. I want Cody on the live. So.
Yeah. But love you guys. Nothing but love. Thank you.
Definitely, man. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Love you, man. Have a good one.
Take care. Oh, my family.
There it is. Hey. See you, man. Amazing. All right, brother. I'll let you go, man. Your family's awesome. Beautiful family. Have a good night, man.
Ready to go for a walk? Yeah. Okay, let's go. All right.
Bye.
Later.
Bye. Awesome. That was fun. That was a good little ending there. Dave, thanks, man. All right, guys. Well, here we go. Let me pull this up. Thanks, everybody, coming on. We're going to do this, and then, all right, here we go. I think I got everybody. Cody's too busy doing deals at night to make it on the live. Yep. His family played him off. I know, that was awesome. I think I have everybody on. I'm making sure. Cody, did you enter in for a Sega Saturn giveaway? Let's see. I didn't see you. Erica, are you in there? I don't know. I'll make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right. Well, here we go. Let's see who wins. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to give it just a second to make sure anybody else. Oh, Bible Butt Pickers, do you want to enter into the missed giveaway? I would figure you would, because I know you've been asking about giveaways. I didn't see Anthony. Steve, did you see Anthony on there?
I did not.
Okay. I didn't see it. I think that's everybody. So yeah, so getting back, I got to get to 290. So next Monday I'm going to get to 290. I appreciate everybody encouraging me to stick to the plan. And it's just the past 2 weeks, man. It's been a little hectic. I haven't gained weight, which is good. I've lost a pound. All right, I'm putting you on, Caleb. But I need to keep doing the 5 pounds each time. So next time, 290. If I don't get 290, I haven't picked out the game yet, but it will probably be one around the same. Let's go. Let's do the spin. Here we go. No whammies. Big money, no whammies. Boom. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to keep it going. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the encouragement. Let's get White Castle to celebrate. Wow. Woo! Reseller Madness. I don't know if he's still in here. So Reseller Madness won. I know how to get a hold of him, so I'll get a hold of him and get it sent to him. So he said, "Stop. Where do I send the donuts to?" Carnivore diet. Oh, I'm actually doing really good. It's just the past 2 weeks. Been traveling a lot. I wasn't feeling well, and I haven't been able to do much exercises. But yeah,
I'm doing carnivore.
I've been sticking to the 5 pounds. Yeah, you are? Okay. Well, yeah, and you've done pretty good with it too. Yeah. Absolutely. Everybody, congratulations to Reseller Madness. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Every Monday night live, come check it out. There's a lot of other YouTube channels in the chat, like a whole bunch. Like he's starting one. We got one right here. I can't put them all up, but all of you, if you're not already subscribed to each other, go subscribe. He's not here. Spin again. I agree. Cody UK would be a great guest. I'm trying to get him on. Keith broke the rules. How did I break the rules? What did I do to break the rules? Oh no, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. Come every Monday night, and maybe we can have you guys on sometime. That would be a lot of fun.
Hey,
I'm trying to
40 people. 40 people and 29 likes.
Yeah. So we need 11 more to equal up to the 40. Yes, I was planning on asking you as well. So, next week I have Kreisky, and I believe the week after I have Slimsy Parfaits. Steve shut down. I think I have Slimsy coming on, and then I have at the beginning of the month is maybe Eric. I think we're going to work that one out. You want to do one with you and Heck and Steve? Okay. All right. Or are you talking about on your show? Yeah. Slimsy said he would do it. I think it's 2 weeks from now. So, Erica before Eric. Bro, RG didn't get invited before you. I'm going to message you as soon as this is over. So we got We got Thursday Rushmore show. Let's see. If you ever have a last minute cancel, I can usually help out. Definitely. Put me down for the election special. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be happening. Yep, you got it. You had set the phone down. Dang, dude. Thanks. No, thank you. Well, cool, guys. I think that's it. Steve's gone. I guess his phone got shut down. Yeah, absolutely, Bryce. I just got to, there's a lot of people asking, and I got to get it all set up. Right on, man. Yeah, get to it, man. Let's all lose weight together. Let's be healthy. That's a good thing. I can't handle you and Hagen Steve at the same time. Too much personality. Absolutely. Yeah. Have I had you on? Yeah. Okay. Again, definitely. Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, definitely, Bryce. Amen. All glory to God. Getting the baptism. It's awesome. Goats everywhere. I agree. Let's see. Great stream. So great seeing so many of you at Siege. Absolutely. Especially you. Yeah, definitely. It was nice meeting you, Seth. I was really excited about that. Yeah, go get some ice cream. Right on, man. Yeah, guys, go check out Screech. Also, Retro Cart Collector put out a video of Siege. A lot of people put out videos from Siege. Go check them out. I think I'm talking too much, guys. This Friday, I'll have a video out. It's going along with building the budget. And so, nope, there it goes. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Everybody that gave, Gabbo, Pixel Game Squad, Retro Rob, Porchman, let's see, Retro Gaming Pandemic. Eric's still being nice to me, even though I haven't had him on. So, RNG Gamer, Dave's Gaming Galaxy, man, guys, that means a lot. Thanks so much. So, yeah, I think I'm just getting lagged. Manny's Arcade, hey, I've been seeing you on other videos. I know, like on Morts and stuff. So glad I got to finally connect with you, man. All right, well, God bless you guys. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you next Monday. Hopefully, we'll see you on Friday. Oh, there's Steve. We'll let Steve say bye to everybody as well.
Have a wonderful night.
We'll see you next Monday. There he is. I'm hearing my video in the background there. Manny's about to get the Eric. If you keep saying that, Manny might get the invite before you. I'm going to do one just me and Steve. No Eric. All right, everybody, have a good night. Sega Steve, still got to get connected with your game, so I guess I'll see you at Retropalooza. And everybody, have a good night. Have a good one. If you can go to Louisiana RetroCon in September, go to Louisiana RetroCon, and it's going to be good. I'll be there. Rushmore Show will be there. I think RNG Media is going to be there. Not RNG, RJC Media, I think, is going to be there. So a lot of people will be there. Good night, guys. Wonderful night. I'm going to say bye the last time. See you guys later.